We're joined by our correspondents, Ariel Osirant, Middle East correspondent, and as well as Hamda Salhoud, joining us both out in the field here and different perspectives that they bring. Ariel, I see you're suited up, and I believe near one of the military's anti-missile air defense batteries here. Look, we've seen some sporadic fire. What's the assessment for the coming hours today? I know there's a big funeral going on for the slain jihad commander in Gaza. What's expected in the near term?
Right, David. So we're seeing increasing reports in Arab media of different status updates of the negotiations between Israel and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. So far, nothing concrete on the ground. Obviously, the Israeli public will not hear about this from its leaders, but rather from Arab media, foreign publications. But as you mentioned, I am standing here right behind me, above my left shoulder. You can see one of the Iron Dome batteries positioned somewhere in the central of Israel. We cannot disclose exactly where that is, but we can say that this exact battery that you can see in frame was active during this operation to intercept some of the rockets that were launched from Gaza and were aimed to towns and cities in the center of Israel. You gave a few details. You touched on the numbers. The IDF did share recently just a recent update of the total 523 rockets and projectiles were launched from the Gaza Strip towards Israel since the beginning of this operation. 380 of them crossed into Israeli territory, while you talked about the failed launches. 114 fell inside the Gaza Strip. And if we're talking about the effect that these Iron Dome systems have in protecting the Israeli public, so 96% success rate in intercepting the rockets. Now, not every rocket that's fired is against it is launched an interceptor, but only rockets that are assessed to hit urban populations. If these systems identify that, then they send a projectile. So far in the 3 days, albeit the rockets only began yesterday, there has been, as I said, a 96% rate from Iron Dome batteries, just like the one above my left shoulder.
An important note, these warning systems have clearly become more complex, more precise around Israel in the last years here, where we're seeing almost neighborhood by neighborhood alerts or not alerts. Amazing to see some of the rockets landing in areas where there was no alert nearby. In other words, a highly refined system in place right now we're seeing in action this week. Hamda, coming to you down there, I believe you're in the State Road here. I mean, there have been, as we mentioned, despite the overall great success rate of the air defenses, the large inaccuracy of the rockets coming out of Gaza, there have been direct hits on homes inside of Israel, in Ashkelon, in Netivot, in State Road, other municipalities. We're talking about direct hits on houses, but mainly we're seeing casualties low. People are adhering to the home front command, not being complacent. They're running to shelters since yesterday.
Right, David. Early this morning, we were at one of those houses that did get a direct hit. Now, it wasn't the house itself. It was the storage shed right next to it and the car that the people owned. A lot of this area has been cleared out by the instructions given by Homefront Command, and people are abiding by those rules. And if they are still here, most people have bomb shelters in their own home. Right here to my left, directly in my eye line, there are 3 shelters just right here in this shopping mall, but that's only the first. There are more. As far as the eye can see, there are shelters in this part of town because it only takes about 5 seconds. You only have 5 seconds here to get to a shelter at some point. Residents in the Gaza Strip do not have that same luxury. It is one of the most densely populated places in the world, so there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to even run when you hear some sort of fire or a bomb being dropped by the Israeli military. Now, I want to get to some news just breaking in the last couple of minutes. The Israeli military saying they struck sites in Gaza just now. Additionally, Islamic Jihad speaking to Al Jazeera saying that they deny anything relating to a ceasefire, especially because the Israeli military said they will not hand over the body of Khadir Adnan, that is the Palestinian prisoner who died on hunger strike, a senior member of Islamic Jihad in northern parts of the West Bank. Another thing Islamic Jihad was advocating for as part of this ceasefire was to stop the targeted assassinations on their senior leaders. Israel saying they will not do that. So at this time, it's kind of unclear what's going to happen. The funeral is underway for the rocket commander who was killed in an airstrike this morning along with his brother and another Islamic Jihad operative. It's still to be seen what's going to happen. There could be rockets after that. It could be later today, but it's really unknown. It's a waiting game right now as the Israeli security apparatus braces for what's next.
Sure, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknown, a lot of tension still in the air. Hamza, thanks for the reports there from State Road. Again, residents all around those areas unsure of what's to come next. Aria also around as well. Look outside one of the batteries in the central part of the country here, the Iron Dome. We'll come back with you guys later on for any updates that emerge.